Welcome guys, welcome back to the video. It's your boy Jacob Jordan, and today we will be discussing why Crystal Palace beats your favorite club. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys smash the likes. I would say the goal for likes on this video from all the Crystal Palace fans, I know there's a lot of you guys, is 20 likes. That's the goal, 20 likes. And today, as I look to gain some more knowledge on football, through the help of YouTube, we're going to be checking out Adam Cleary's channel. And the title of the video is going to be how Oliver Glasner has made Crystal Palace unbeatable. So we're gonna see what we can learn from this video. We can learn. Hopefully it's not copyrighted and I don't waste this whole reaction.
Right then, hello there everybody, welcome to the Adam Cleary Football Channel. In Crystal Palace, they've seemingly struck a deal in blood magic with some sort of witch to never lose another game of football, haven't they? And in fact, that's actually why we're here today, because aforementioned witch has apparently done a very, very good job. Like, genuinely, as I'm recording this, the 5 longest unbeaten streaks across Europe's biggest leagues are Elche and Dortmund tied with 7, very, very good. Bayern Munich on 8, very impressive. Barcelona on 9, wah, and then Ollie Glasner's Crystal Palace with 18. So,
wow, 18 is crazy.
What the Now, before we start, I am very, very pleased to tell you, my friends, that this video right here is the first one we've ever made that was both suggested by and then voted on for by members of the channel. You guys suggested the ideas, we put it to a poll, and now we are literally making it because that is a thing we do now. And if that sounds like fun to you, there will be a link down below which will let you become a channel member, and you'll get to tell us what we make, as well as all of this stuff on screen, because I can't be bothered to memorize it right now. Anyway, though, Oliver Glasner's Crystal Palace, they are now on a very serious unbeaten run that spans both competitions and seasons. There's an FA Cup final in there, a Community Shield, games against Chelsea, against Aston Villa, against Manchester City, Arsenal, Tottenham, Bournemouth, and seemingly about 10
Look at that.
were against Liverpool.
Look at that.
My friends, all the while playing this fabled 3-4-2-1 system that Ruben Amorim...
My Chelsea. I'm not playing the same system as Ruben Amorim. Interesting. But my Chelsea was the only team to draw against this Crystal Palace super team. Look at that. Look at that, man. Proud of my guys. Proud of the guys, man. Good job, guys. While they had Eze, by the way. Wow.
Man United have gaslit the entire country into believing requires individually selected players, very expensively assembled, in every single position, and yet, as discussed, they are flying. So what is the difference? Well, to begin, this is the Crystal Palace team that started against Liverpool, and I would say is a pretty good representation of this team. Like, there are others that have been involved, like Jefferson Lewin,
Adam Warden is so good, by the way.
Adam Warden, he was a major part of it last season, but by and large, I wouldn't say there's any major components missing here. And the way it works is really interesting, because they are currently the 2nd lowest possession team in the league this season, and they were the 4th lowest last season, just in case you're worried it's a statistical anomaly. They don't see a lot of the ball. But because of that stat, there is a bit of a misconception about them that all they do is drop into a back 5, sit really deep, end up getting 4 in the midfield, everybody behind the ball, soak up all the pressure, and then wham, try and hit their opponents on the counter-attack. Like, Mateta's an absolute bulldozer when he gets going, the 2-10, so Saw and Pino this season, but obviously Eze the last. They get forward really well. Munoz is a flying machine. So the idea is, like, they're a bit like Forest last season. They defend really well, and then they attack purely on the counter. And I think, possibly, this reputation comes from the FA Cup final. So if you remember the big moment in that match, they are deep, and then they go really direct into Mateta, sweep forward with the wing-back, and then one of the 10s barrels in to score the goal. Thing is, right, while they absolutely can do that, and it is part of what it is they are trying to do, that goal in itself is not a good representation of, like, the overall...
See, now that's crazy, because I looked at them as just a really good transition team as well. That's what I looked at them as, and that's why Loki wanted to get let's say if Enzo Maresca didn't work out, I'm okay with Chelsea going in for Glasner, because Chelsea is, I think, at their best, a counter-attacking team. At their best. You seen what we did against PSG. Yes, we had the ball for good moments of the game, but our 3 goals came from counters. All of our 3 goals came from counters. We hit them on the counter, and because of players' decision making, like a Palmer, like a João Pedro, like Moises Caicedo. It's like we get like a lot more confidence and we play with a lot more confidence in transition. So I'm here for it. I'm here for it if Enzo Maresca doesn't work out at the club.
Plan, I think. Like, even purely from a numerical sense, right? Their carries into the final third, their carries into the penalty area, even just their total number of carries, which I need to stop saying carries, just running with the ball, are all at the very lowest ends of the league. So they are not a team for whom sprints like this necessarily are the be-all and end-all. But they are still incredibly direct. Like, don't get me wrong, when they win the ball back, or even when they just have it at the back, the objective is to move it up the field as quickly as they possibly can, either by carrying it or through the fewest number of passes. Just doesn't really matter which.
Long
and
passes,
this might
long
be
balls.
a new term for some of you, right? So let's all sit on the floor with our legs crossed, be very, very quiet, pretend we're at school, okay? Opta have them down currently as the league leaders for direct speed. And no, it is not about amphetamine consumption, my friends, even though they do sometimes play like that. It is a statistical measure of how quickly a team gets it, done the hand gesture too early, from back to front. Basically, the distance the ball travels in an attack divided by the amount of time you spent attacking, and on average, Palace are getting the ball up the pitch quicker than any other team. So just to put that in English, right, the way Oliver Glasner has this team set up, forget about the formation, right, is to simply be the most attack-minded side in the Premier League. They retain possession, yes, but not an awful lot of it. They do not focus on having the ball at the back. They attack instead as directly and as relentlessly as anybody else. And I mean, yeah, okay, you're right. That is just literally the entire...
So basically,
football, so it does...
they attack with like not really much respect for the defense, no matter who they're facing. And that's why they win so much games. I think that's obviously why they win so much games, because you heard it first from the guy himself. It's like anti-Arteta ball, anti-Pep ball, anti-Maresca ball. All these guys are with slow, methodical. Guys, just look for the perfect opportunity to strike, and we're gonna have control of the game. And nah, just be direct. I love direct football. That's when the Premier League was at its peak, when all of the teams were, in my opinion, was playing direct football. Even the defensive teams, direct football, man. That's what made the in my opinion, the Barclays Premier League so exhilarating, so exciting to watch, because in direct football, you get to see the most magic out of your best players. Because it's going to be a lot of one-on-one duels. Yeah. So you get to see the best out of your wingers, the best out of your strikers, the best out of your 10s. Man.
Sort of beg the question, why are a team who don't spend particularly big and lost their best player again this summer and nearly the captain so much better at doing this than everyone else? And Man United fans maybe just look away now, right? But honestly, one of the answers to that question is this formation. When you set a team up this way, it is supposed to give you much better speed of attack than virtually any other way you can play. Sorry, just changing my jacket because I'm sweating. Is just a really quick loving ode to Jonathan Wilson's Inverting the Pyramid, right? 4-2-3-1 gives you 3 number 10s, basically really good creativity at the top end of the pitch with a stable base, but 4-3-3 gives you loads of different players between different lines of the opposition, allowing you to control possession really, really well. And as we all know, 4-4-2's point these days is to simply make you really defensively solid.
England will be playing 4-4-2.
But 3-4-2-1 is supposed to be the system that is all about the speed of your attack, because this base of 5 here gives you a number of ways to play through the first line of pressure, and then from there you are supposed to have runners in behind or dropping in between the lines across the entire width of the pitch. And it's in this area in particular that Palace really excel with this. So we'll start here, right? Munoz is out of shot, but this 3-4-2-1 is back in its defensive shape of a 5-4-1. Like when you compress everybody in, that's the shape you go to. Liverpool have the ball on this side, and over here, Munoz is still sitting on Kirkez, who was pushed up naturally, and the whole shape of the team, therefore, is pulled over into this right-hand side. And you know what it's like? That's what shuffling across is. That's what compactness is supposed to give you. Are you with me thus far? Every single Liverpool player is marked and attended to, except for Connor Bradley. And of course, Virgil van Dijk, he is the capable sort. Liverpool do this in training all the time. There are no options directly in front of him, so he smartly gets his head up and sees if he can move it elsewhere. And he spots Bradley. That's exactly what he does. He launches it over.
Is that the
but
trap?
And I'm going to just use my Jamie Carragher voice, right? If we just stop it there, as it leaves Van Dijk.
Yeah, that was accurate. That was spot on.
Dyke's foot. Look at both Mark Gay and Tyrick Mitchell. They are already
rotating
out of their current positions with their current responsibilities in
basketball. We call this a rotation. So the player that is closest to him is gonna go over there to mark him, and then the rest of the defense shuffles over. Right? We call this a rotation in basketball. All right. For any of the football fans that want to know, like here's. Okay.
To something else. And what's happening here is that Gay is leaving his man and getting across to Salah so that Mitchell can leave Salah and stop this ball. And that is exactly what they do. And they time it so well and is so coordinated that Mitchell actually beats Bradley to that ball and ends up intercepting it. Like, just take it back to the point where Van Dijk will have spotted this passing option.
Yeah,
you
that's
would
kind
not
of
say
crazy.
in a million years, because of the fact that Salah is tying up the defender here, that there's any issue hitting this pass.
Yeah, that's a good
He doesn't
pass.
it, It's not bad or anything like that. It's the Palace are specifically set up to defend one side of the pitch like this, but be so good at moving over as a unit when the switch comes.
Rotation.
And I really do want to drill down into this exact moment because it shows you what sets Glasner's version of this system apart from other Premier League sides that I may or may not
Scammer him.
have already mentioned. Like most teams here, I promise you, right, would see this as Pino's responsibility to sprint over to Bradley and put pressure on him, even though he would be doing so from the wrong side. Like, Bradley could take a touch infield towards the Palace goal and get rid of him, but still common sense tells you, well, the wide players should get out to the fullbacks. That's not Palace's approach at all. They shuffle across as a unit instead, and because you've jumped Richards onto Bradley here and everybody's done it together with him, you've wound up with Margay on Mo Salah, Lacroix is keeping his eye on Wirtz, Wharton is on Gravenberch, and Kamada is on Szoboszlai, leaving Pino free to now loiter in this space instead. And because the organisation was so good, because the timing was so good, because the desire was there for Richards, not just to jog over and do his job,
Mitchell.
but to actually try and win this ball, when he does, all of a sudden, this is the situation you've opened up. Anyway, though, they break up the field as quickly and directly as they can with Mateta, both the 10s, and both the wing-backs, and this attack is actually what gets them the corner that leads to the first goal. Brilliant. Wait, hang on, I think I said Richards before, about jumping out the back line to get Conor Bradley. That's clearly Tyrick Mitchell. I already said it was Tyrick Mitchell. I might have just said Richards for literally no reason whatsoever. If either of you two are watching this, very sorry about that. I'm terrible with names and also quite thick. So to review, they stay compact, they don't let themselves get too deep, they stop Liverpool playing through the middle, they jump out as a collective when you play into their trap, and then they break forward with both numbers and pace. That is the secret to Crystal Palace, if it's even a secret. Anyway, though, back to my actual point. I did say before that defending deep in a block, not letting the opposition have space, then bursting out in a counter, is not a good way to describe what they're about. So I'm going to show you how they do this exact same thing, but with settled possession. Here we are with the ball. There's no danger on. The centre-backs have it. The midfield two are sat just in front. Liverpool then put the pressure on, and I would say, me personally, that the smart passes here are either into the goalkeeper or nice and long and safe into this centre-back. The thing is, neither of those passes are forwards, are they? So instead, Richards fires it into Pino, who, despite a bad touch, flicks it round the corner to Wharton, of all people, who plays Mateta in, and again, they should probably score.
Wharton, man. Wharton. I really hope we move for Wharton this transfer window because he's such a good midfielder. He's going to bench Enzo Fernandez automatically. He's going to bench this guy.
It's this just sort of like mentality of always forwards on the ball and big coordinated efforts off the ball that are just proving too much for pretty much every team they come up against. Like, this isn't an overperformance this season. They've got the joint highest number of shots on goal, level with Liverpool, and have generated the third highest XG, and in fact are actually underperforming in front of goal. Like, the numbers say they should have had more. Like, I don't know how astounded to sound by this, but they could arguably be doing better than third place in the table and the only undefeated side in the league, which is a thought. In fact, it's actually quite mad. Like, the finishing here is the only part of this team which is not currently in the ruthlessly efficient bracket. They had a stat on the Totally Football Show on Monday which said that Crystal Palace had an attempt on goal for every 11 passes they completed. Like, for context, if you need it, Man City have had the most shots in the league this season and are actually trying to pass the ball a lot less than in previous years, and are still one shot every 56 completed passes. Arsenal are every 58, Wolves at the bottom of the league are every 60. Palace were 11 passes per shot in this game and are like 31 or 32 average for the entire season. They are an enormous statistical outlier in this regard. And again, they can do that from a deep, compact shape that other teams can't break down and then break up the other end of the field, but it is also that when they have it, they just look to move it forward so quickly and so directly that they're not messing about with it. And that is the best way to explain what Ole Glasner is doing with this team. It is...
Crystal Palace fans, please, let me know. Is it, like, how fun it is to just watch your team dominate like this? Let me know. Let me know how fun it is to watch a team dominate like this. And it sucks that you guys couldn't get European football because Nottingham Forest are a bunch of snitches. And they're going to Europe just to stink up the place. They stole your European spot just to go there to stink up the place and embarrass themselves. Man, I'd be so pissed at Marinakis, man. That guy's a fraud.
Pure from front to back efficiency with the ball. He has got like total buy-in from all of these players to work as hard as this style of play requires you to. And when you combine that willingness to work with the actual quality they've got and the individual performances that are being put on display, and that is a recipe to not losing a game of football in 18 matches. So it's absolutely zero fluke what Crystal Palace are doing here, and the underlying numbers whisper it actually suggest they might get a bit better before they even start thinking about getting a little bit worse. But just to wrap up, right, they do face two quite serious problems, in my opinion. Number one, fixture congestion. Like, they are a better team than merely their best 11. Like, we've already mentioned Lerma and Hughes and Nketiah, but Palace fans, a little bit of role play here, right? I want you to look at this starting 11 and then hear in your head the words, after a bruising midweek game in Europe, Oliver Glasner is forced into 8 changes for Crystal Palace's trip to Everton this weekend. Did you wince? Did you wince? Because if you winced, then you have concerns over the depth of this squad, and in my opinion, you are correct to. And two, I'll give you the...
Adam Wharton is not a player you could easily replace. I'm just going to say that. You could replace Mateta, but you can't easily replace Adam Wharton. Adam, listen, buddy. I know you love Crystal Palace. It's in London. It's beautiful. Beautiful club. Amazing club. It's one of the clubs I could see you, if you want to stay there, you could become a legend of that club. But don't you want to play some Champions League football? Don't you want to play some Champions League football, my boy? Shout out to the Palace fans, right? I have nothing against Palace, man. I respect the club. I respect what they're building. But I'm just saying, you know, a couple, hey, 100K extra. Plus Champions League football, man. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying,
the most important one is that right now these players are playing fantastically and they are implementing a system that is getting the most out of them. But what will happen as the season goes on when other teams come up with ways of negating said system? Nottingham Forest struggled with the exact same thing last season, like when teams realised they were deliberately trying to counter, so they set up much better to defend against counters. They went from 3rd in the table on match week 31 to finishing like, 6th or 7th. So that can't happen. So to put that another way, 1, how adaptable is your manager? And 2, how creamy are dem hamstrings? You answer both of those sufficiently and sky's the limit, I think. So yes, that's the video. Crystal Palace, everyone's new favourite Premier League team. That is how they are doing the things they are doing. But if you're a Palace fan or even just an interested observer, please let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. And please, my God, if you haven't already, subscribe to us here at ACFC. The next time...
That's crazy. It's crazy to think the same reason... Well, not really the entirely same reason, but a majority of the same reason of why Crystal Palace is unbeaten is part of the same reason why Man United is on a losing streak. And it just comes down to the manager, bro. One manager is trying to bring out the best of his players through his system. And the other one is trying to bring out the best out of his system through his players. And we're seeing who is winning with this. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. just that simple. I don't want to see Oliver Glasner go to Man United, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was to go there. And if he was to go there, I could easily see Man United ending up winning the league with the type of players they have. Unless let's say they get an Adam Wharton transfer too. I don't even know what they're looking at Ballet, but just go get Wharton. Actually, no, don't get Wharton. Don't go get Wharton. Let Chelsea get Wharton. Let Chelsea get him. But hey, guys, this was a really good and educational video. Smash up the likes and tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Do you think Palace can keep this up, or do you think it's only a matter of time before they get figured out? And what do you think would be the best move for Guehi, Wharton, Mateta, if they were to decide they want to leave Palace? Because I don't see them want to leave unless like a club just swoops in and just says, "Yo, we're gonna double your pay." / you get to play in European nights. That's like a really good incentive for them to leave. Let's be honest. And I'm not even trying to dump on the Palace fans, because Palace fans are like, they're cool. Like they understand that the club isn't as appealing right now because they're not on the top of the league every year. Unlike Nottingham Forest fans who are super delusional. Yes, I'm talking about Wolf. But yeah. Let me know. Smash the likes, people. I'm out.